key open. You arrive, you open the record, and the numbers begin to tell their story. You take your seat, the routine ingrained, as you prepare to dive into the day's records and entries. The keys clink softly, a small sound that marks the start of another shift in the cash record office. You flip open the log, your eyes scanning the first entry, a number that signals the beginning of the count. This number, 0452, corresponds to the morning delivery, and you check it against the monitor for accuracy. Timestamps are crucial. Each one a point in the system where money moved and records were made. You compare the log entry with the digital record, noting any differences that need immediate attention and correction. A discrepancy found, you jot it down, a small mark that will trigger further checks and adjustments in the system. The checklist guides your every move, ensuring no step is missed in the meticulous process of record keeping. Your supervisor passes by, a silent acknowledgement that the work is proceeding as per the established routine and rules. You correct the number on the sheet, a change that must be precise to maintain the integrity of the cash log. Around you, others are deep in their own logs, a synchronized dance of numbers that keeps the system running smoothly. A trainee delivers the secondary log, and you skim it, ensuring all entries are in order before proceeding further. You verify the shift roster, confirming who was on duty during key transactions, a cross-reference that adds another layer of verification. The camera log runs continuously, capturing every movement, a silent witness to the flow of cash and records in the warehouse. You leave a note for follow-up, a task that will wait until after the initial review of all daily entries is complete. An announcement breaks the silence, informing of a minor system update that will not affect the current logging procedures. You organize the papers, stacking them methodically, a physical representation of the order maintained in the digital records. You assess your progress, tallying the entries processed, a moment of reflection in the midst of the routine. A brief pause. The clock ticks on, reminding you that the record system never sleeps, and neither can your attention to detail. You notice a discrepancy in the numbers, a small error that could affect the entire record if left unchecked. The entry stands out, a break in the pattern that demands immediate attention and verification. You cross-reference with another sheet, ensuring that every figure matches before marking any changes. You place a gentle mark as a reminder, a first step in addressing the inconsistency found in the daily log. The checklist remains incomplete, a visual cue that the review process is still ongoing and thorough. You check the shift roster to identify who was responsible for the entry, adding context to the potential mistake. You access the digital log on the monitor, a parallel system that must align perfectly with the paper records. Your fingers move swiftly, correcting the error in the system to maintain the integrity of the cash record. You alert the supervisor to the finding, a routine part of the process where oversight ensures no mistakes are overlooked. With confirmation, you prepare to document the discrepancy, following the established protocol for error handling. The note stage begins, where discrepancies are recorded and the system is updated with precise changes. You formally document the error, noting the time, amount, and source for future reference and correction. The pen moves deliberately, capturing the mistake in writing, a permanent addition to the record archive. You input the note into the system, ensuring that both physical and digital records are synchronized accurately. You review the camera footage, looking for visual confirmation of the transaction that led to the discrepancy. The camera log shows nothing unusual, indicating that the mistake might be in the paperwork alone. You leave a secondary note, a reminder to revisit this entry after completing the current batch of records. You verify with a colleague, ensuring that your documentation aligns with the office's standard error handling routine. You organize the papers, keeping the noted discrepancy visible, a physical reminder of the ongoing audit process. You complete the initial documentation, a step that prepares the log for further review and eventual resolution. You initiate the cross-checking process, comparing the documented error against the checklist for validation. You methodically verify each checklist item, ensuring the discrepancy is properly accounted for in the system. The checklist displays the steps, a visual guide to maintaining accuracy in the record-keeping routine. An incomplete check leads you back to the camera log, adding depth to the verification process. You examine the footage at a different time, searching for any visual clues related to the discrepancy. The camera log reveals no activity, suggesting the error is confined to the paperwork records. With the camera check done, you update the checklist, progressing through the systematic verification. You check the shift roster to understand who was on duty during the time of the original entry. The roster provides a record of personnel, essential for tracing the source of the discrepancy. You document the shift information, enriching the note with contextual data for future audits. You synchronize the digital and physical records, ensuring both reflect the latest checks and notes. The record sheet joins the archive, a physical testament to the ongoing documentation process. You conduct a final review of the note, confirming that all verification steps are properly recorded. A small discrepancy in the numbers prompts you to re-verify the data directly from the source log. You adjust the note to match the logbook, correcting the inconsistency to maintain accuracy. The correction is visible, ensuring the record reflects the precise data from the original log. You revise the checklist, keeping it current with the corrected information from the note. You draft a concise summary, highlighting the discrepancy and checks performed for easy reference. You finalize the summary, linking it to the record to streamline the review process. You assess the completed work, confident that the checking episode has been thoroughly executed. You initiate the save process for the completed note, ensuring all discrepancies are documented and ready for finalization. The system displays the save options, highlighting the record details that will be preserved in the archive. You name the record file accurately, organizing it within the system structure for future reference and audits. The note is successfully saved, creating a permanent digital entry in the cash record system for today's shift. You transition to the report phase, preparing to submit the documented findings through the supervisory system. The final stage begins, focusing on saving the updated log and submitting the daily report to complete the record. You complete the report form, inputting key data from the note to formalize the day's record for review. The typing accompanies each field entry, methodically building the official report that will be archived. You link the note and checklist to the report, ensuring all supporting records are included for completeness. You conduct a final check of the report, confirming that all information aligns with the original log entries. The report is submitted, sending the day's record to the central database for archival and supervisory review. The system acknowledges the submission, confirming that the record has been logged and stored securely. You exit the report interface, moving to the final steps of shutting down the record system for the day. You close down the digital tools, ensuring no residual data remains on the screen after the work is done. You prepare to leave, having completed all recording and reporting duties as part of the daily routine. The office settles into silence, with the day's work encapsulated in the saved records and submitted reports. You exit the record office, confident that the system has captured every necessary detail from your shift. You secure the office, completing the routine that maintains the integrity and security of the cash record system. The corridor is silent, reflecting the end of another day in the continuous operation of record keeping. You leave the building, your role as a record keeper fulfilled until the next log is opened tomorrow. The building stands quiet, but inside, the record system continues its silent operation through the night. The night shift begins, with the first task being to verify that all daily reports have been properly archived. They access the archive database, confirming that today's record has been stored with a precise timestamp for reference. The physical servers hum softly, storing every piece of data that ensures the integrity of the cash record system. To ensure accuracy, they cross-reference the digital archive with the corresponding entry in the physical logbook, noting any discrepancies. Once satisfied, they update the master checklist, marking the archival process as complete for the day. The physical copies are stored in secure cabinets, ready for any future audits or reviews that may be required. They enter the completion details into the shift log, creating a record of the night's activities for supervisory review. With the archive secured, the night shift nears its end, and the preparation begins for the next day's record-keeping cycle. The system never sleeps. As one shift ends, another